Thank you for joining us for the Marist Conversation Series, a 6-part discussion that focuses on the priorities of our Strategic Plan 2025. Today, in this final installment, we'll talk about how we will secure the future of Marist School. Joining me today are Angela Dorsey, our Vice President for Institutional Advancement, Linda MacLean, our Vice President of Finance, and Jim Byrne, our Vice President of Enrollment and Operations. We'll each be talking about how, in our respective areas, Strategic Plan 2025 makes a clear path so that we may continue to live our mission to form the whole person in the image of Christ. Before we get to that conversation, though, we will hear from Father Rowland, Marist School President, about the Society of Mary and its role in helping us to do that as well. Father Rowland.
Hello, I'm Father Bill Rowland, President at Marist School. The Society of Mary regards Marist School as one of its most cherished institutions. The school reflects the commitment of the Society of Mary to be actively engaged in the education of youth, which Father Rowland, the founder of the Society of Mary, described as being like a second creation. By the time students leave Marist School, they have been formed more closely in the image of Christ through instruction grounded in religious values, the teachings of the Catholic Church, and the spirit of the Society of Mary. Father Rowland understood the work of educating youth as being close to the heart of Mary, so much so that he regarded it as a work of Mary. The Society of Mary is taking important steps to make sure that Marist School, with its distinctive Marist character, continues to offer an exceptional Catholic education to as many young people as possible. That's why we work so hard to preserve our resources, raise money for our endowment, and make sure we have ample funds to offer to those who need tuition assistance. We educate our students to be well-informed, faith-filled individuals, capable of explaining their faith and working with people of goodwill to find solutions to common problems in our increasingly secular world. The gentle, humble, respectful, and welcoming disposition that we work to instill in Marist students and that we associate with the Mother of Jesus is the best way to break down barriers, gain trust, and introduce Christ to those who have lost their way in their search for God. From this broad perspective, Marist graduates have a vital role to play in our world. I say that because the type of students we graduate, who are steeped in the spirit of Mary and in possession of servant hearts, can do so much to bring about human progress and, along with that, healing and reconciliation. By ensuring the future of Marist School, we are also doing our part to ensure a better future for our world. Thank you.
It's important that we hear the perspective of the Society of Mary as we consider how we will secure the future of Marist School. We at the school have a deep responsibility to continue the work the Marist started here 120 years ago in service to the city of Atlanta. I appreciate Jim, Linda, and Angela, each of you being with us today, and thank you for your time. And just start the conversation most broadly. Maybe Jim, why don't you open by telling us how in your area you see the potential to secure the future of Marist School?
Kevin, for me it's easy. It's all about our students. In order for us to advance the mission of Marist School, we have to have a full complement of students in our student body. And so we, through a wide variety of marketing initiatives, admissions events, we are doing our best to speak to as many people in Atlanta, many families as possible, to tell them about the Marist education, to ensure that there is an adequate pipeline of applicants into 7th and to 9th grade, our two primary entry points, and to be able to have families consider Marist School for the education of their children.
From my perspective, securing our future means continuing to practice sound financial management as well as stewarding our resources wisely. And with respect to resources, our most important resource is our people. And we prioritize our people each year when we develop our annual operating budget. Our compensation and benefits comprise approximately 60% of our operating expense. And so we really feel like we have to get that right. Each year we benchmark not only to Atlanta area schools, but also to national schools to make sure that our offerings are competitive, so that we can attract and retain a diverse and faithful faculty and staff, which helps us deliver our mission. We're also really proud of the fact that we're able to offer professional development and spiritual opportunities to not only enhance the educational experience in the classroom, but also to help us retain our talent.
Well, in addition to what Jim and Linda shared, philanthropy is also critical to securing Marist's future. In the advancement office, we really focus on nurturing the culture of philanthropy that exists here. And we do that by providing opportunities for people to engage with and support the school in meaningful ways. I must say that, Marist has an extraordinary legacy of philanthropy. When you think back to all the people over many generations who have contributed their time and talents and treasures to help ensure the success of this school, it's really remarkable. And we are grateful and just blessed by those who continue to make Marist a priority. So I think this collective philanthropy is what's going to help ensure that Marist continues to have a bright future.
Absolutely, and it's that spirit of generosity that I think allows us to do so much of the good work we do. It allows us to have the compensation and benefits that Linda outlined. But also, it really helps to make the school more accessible to more students, which is a key priority. I think part of what we're called to do is make sure that as many students as possible can get the benefits of a Marist education. Jim, do you want to say a little bit more about accessibility?
Oh, I'd love to. I think in the admissions office, it's a primary goal for us. And I'm especially proud as well that we award each year $2.5 million in need-based financial assistance to almost 20% of our student body. And our admissions message to prospective families is that these tuition assistance funds are available to those families that qualify. Students who are admitted to Marist should be admitted based upon their ability to thrive in our programs, whether it be academically, spiritually, or extracurricularly, not simply because they can afford the cost of education.
I know a big part of that is setting tuition every year. And Linda, do you want to speak to that and sort of our process for it? Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kevin. In addition to providing the financial aid that Jim mentioned, we think that making a Marist education accessible is all about having moderate and predictable tuition increases year after year. With modest increases at the forefront, we intentionally target to have our tuition set between the Archdiocese schools and the top Atlanta area independent schools. And we think it's important that we keep it in that range. Through sound financial management policies and practices, and with the assistance of our finance committee, who has a very great expertise, we've been able over the years to increase tuition just very close to the level of inflation. And with that, we believe that the excellent academic and extracurricular offerings that we have makes Marist School, a Marist School education here, one of the best values in Atlanta. We're also very purposeful when we set fees for extracurricular activities, because we want every student to be able to participate in wherever their passions or interests take them, whether it be mission trips, whether it be athletics, whether it be the arts, whatever and wherever they want to go, we want them to be able to go there. And so it's important that we work hard at setting our fees at a reasonable level so that things are affordable for our families. We recently just established a separate financial aid type fund to allow families who are both on financial aid and those who are not to be able to tap into to participate in what we call our signature experiences, such as international trips, which can be quite expensive. And we realize that some families can afford a Marist education, but that those extra costs are really out of reach. And so we feel it's vitally important that our students are able to, as many students as possible are able to avail themselves of those signature experiences, and that's something that we're really working hard at.
It's something we certainly don't and can't take for granted, the cost of tuition at our school, and it's something that we have an eye to keep just as moderate as possible. And I know The generosity of philanthropy that you mentioned earlier, Angela, has a big part in that. So just tell us about that.
That's right. Yeah, as I mentioned, we have this extraordinary culture of philanthropy here, and much of that is directed to making Marist education accessible. So every year we raise over $2 million for the annual fund, and those dollars help close the gap between tuition and the actual cost of a Marist education, which is over $3,500 a student. So the generosity of so many really helps us keep our tuition affordable for more families. In addition to the annual fund, we also partner with Georgia Goal, which enables taxpayers to redirect a portion of their state tax liability to Marist for financial aid. So every year, hundreds of families participate in the program and collectively redirect over $1 million to Marist for financial aid. So it really has a tremendous impact on our ability to help students come here. And then finally, our endowment, a portion of that is designated for financial aid. So we've had numerous donors over the years create named endowed funds that provide support for families with demonstrated need.
Absolutely, and the appreciation that families have who receive that, who that makes a Marist education possible for them is abiding and stays with them. Linda, you mentioned some of the signature experience our students have, and so many of those are on our campus. You know, when students come back, they go to places like our chapel, or they go to a field or court, or a favorite classroom, and they see those places, and their memories are stirred by them. And our strategic plan 2025 gives us a path to the future about what are those places we need to be creating for the next generation of Marist students to be able to have some of those experiences. Jim, in your role with facilities and operations, why don't you tell us about where we're heading with that?
Sure. I am so grateful to be able to drive on this beautiful 78-acre campus every single day. I don't think there's a better place in Atlanta to be able to do that. But the facilities have to be maintained. And so we have some real expertise in our community and a campus and facilities board, committee of the board. We look at a regular schedule for the maintenance on our entire physical plant, including our campus buildings and fields and such. We do regular maintenance activities during the summertime. We might do some small construction projects then as well in order to take care of what we have here already, be good stewards for the future. Safety is a top priority for us. We have partnerships with the City of Brookhaven as well as DeKalb County to coordinate with their law enforcement and emergency departments to not only plan for an emergency, but then to also execute some emergency drills that we have to be able to do to keep our students safe on our campus. And looking at the future, we've begun a review of our campus master plan to see that we have the facilities that are adequate to fulfill the strategic plan 2025. I can see some priorities surfacing right away, and one would be the cafeteria. But then also it's just to ensure that we have those facilities available for our current programming, whether it's academics or athletics or fine arts or whatever it might be, but then also maybe look to the future about what that future programming might be and be ready for that when it comes.
That's right. We do a great job of meeting our current students' needs, but we need to imagine and envision how we can meet our future students' needs as well. Of course, a big part of that is funding those projects once we identify them. And Angela, that would be your area. Tell us about that.
We fund campus enhancements in a variety of ways. So with some of our smaller projects, like the replacement of the turf in the stadium, we'll conduct special sort of targeted fundraising efforts. Through partnerships with foundations and special friends, we've also been able to create some new innovative spaces like the Gozueta Center for Immersive Experience and Design. This amazing space, which directly aligns with our strategic plan, has really created exciting opportunities for collaboration and for hands-on learning for our students. In terms of the overall campus development, over the years, Marist has conducted comprehensive capital campaigns. Our most recent campaign concluded in 2016 and raised over $37 million, and it funded the construction of Ivy Street Center, the renovation of the chapel and St. Peter Chanel Hall, the purchase and development of the property across Nancy Creek, a new front entrance, and then several other projects. So as we look to the future and projects that will be in the campus master plan, we will look to conduct another capital campaign in the next few years.
Of course, we see the benefit our students have on a daily basis of our capital campaign, and that's made a difference in the lives of students in each of the areas that you just mentioned. Another way that we continue to be able to make adjustments to our campus and to provide the Marist experience that we want to our students is through having a very robust endowment. And I know, Linda, you can share just a bit about our endowment and sort of where it stands these days and what difference it makes for students.
Sure, absolutely. So our endowment currently stands at $33.6 million, which is, to use one of Angela's words from earlier, remarkable, and it has doubled in value over the last 10 years, which is also truly remarkable. And that increase has been made possible through investment returns as well as infusion of philanthropic support, which has just been great. Each year we are able to tap we bring funds from the endowment into our annual operating budget, which helps us support programs, provide for financial aid, provide for professional development, and really helps us support everything we do here at Marist. So it's really important to the school, it's really important to our future that the endowment remains strong. It's certainly a strong financial foundation for the future and for the future of the school. Our policy for the endowment is that we draw 4% each year out of the market value of the endowment based upon the average trailing 12 quarters. And so we always keep that steady hand on the corpus of the endowment, and that never gets touched, and we draw from the investment value. So that's very helpful. Our investment committee, who are truly experts in this area, help us quarterly to review our endowment and review our investments and to make sure we're on the right track. And they are all very deeply committed to the success of Marist School.
Given the growth we've seen and the benefit it's had for our students, we did build into our strategic plan that it's a priority to continue to grow it. And Angela, why don't you say a little bit about how we do that?
Sure. Well, as Linda mentioned, philanthropy is one of the main ways that we grow the endowment. So on average, donors contribute over $1 million a year to the endowment, and we also seek to bolster it when we're in capital campaigns. I'll say as part of my work, I love to speak to people about supporting the endowment and the difference that it makes, not only for our current students, but for future generations as well. I really think it's one of the most powerful, enduring ways that someone can leave a legacy and really invest in the future of our school.
And it's a legacy that doesn't just live on here at 3790 Ashford Dunwoody Road. It lives on in the lives of our graduates when they leave the school, as they are called by our Strategic Plan 2025 to lead and serve with compassion, integrity, and a sense of purpose. And that reminds us of just how important it is that we continue to secure the future of Marist School, because we want to continue to secure the future of our graduates when they leave it. So thank you each for sharing the important ways that your areas impact that and make a difference in the lives of our students every day. And now we will hear an important message from Marist School Board President Bill Roche.
Hi, my name is Bill Roche, and I am a graduate of Marist School, class of 1976, also the father of 2 graduates of Marist, and currently I serve as the chairman of the board of trustees of Marist School. And I have a few thoughts I wanted to share with you today. Marist School exists today because generations of Marist priests dedicated their lives to advancing the mission of Marist School, providing an education that forms students in the image of Christ through instructions grounded in religious values, the teachings of the Catholic Church, and the spirit of the Society of Mary. It also exists because of the involvement of all of those in our community and a great tradition of philanthropy. The Board of Trustees provides guidance to ensure that Marist has the resources, facilities, and tools to ensure that the Society of Mary's educational vision and the mission carry on. Our focus is to make sure that we can provide for Marist's future financially. We partner with the Marist priests who will ensure that the Marist spirit and the Marist mission endure forever. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for our conversation series. I can say it's been a pleasure for me to have the chance to speak to so many who care so deeply and passionately about our school and each of the ways we continue to live our mission. Our Strategic Plan 2025 lays out the future story of our school. It's a story our students will get to live every day, and at its heart, it's a gospel story, one that calls us into closer relationship with God through our formation in the image of Christ. I want to thank current and prospective parents, our alumni, our faculty, staff, and students for each being a part of this story, the story of Marist School. Thank you.